This week's lecture looked at the project management side of multimedia projects. To start with, the team would create an initial statement that would contain the ideas that the team had and explain what the system would do. So if I had to do this for my artifact, it would say that the system would be to inform pupils about the Roman times, and it would also contain that it would have to link to the curriculum and that it would need to be interactive so that the pupils would be able to engage with it properly. The next step after this is the revised client statement and the revised team statement. Both of these provide more detailed documents considering things like the users, the client, and the maintenance. The project takes on a problem-oriented approach, looking at what problems could be solved by the project. A general statement outlining the product and how the user will interact with the product. My artifact would solve the problem of the pupils possibly not enjoying their history curriculum. It'd make it more personal to the pupil, as the images in there will speak to them, and it should make learning history a little bit more interactive as they will be controlling it. There's a range of considerations that the team would take into consideration. User analysis is one of them, and that's where the team sets out to understand what the user would want from the system. It will be done using focus groups or interviews or questionnaires, and it would aim to set out what the typical user would be like. Now, because this is for primary school, the typical user for my artifact would be 6 to 11-year-olds who are studying history at school, and I feel that if we had to do this, the best way to collect the information about what the user would want from it would be to set up a focus group and to gather their ideas that way. The knowledge analysis, it sort of finalises what all stakeholders want before the development does actually start. It takes all the documents that I've earlier mentioned and it builds on all of them, goes through it in a lot more detail so that they can be implemented and it is what the user and the client both want. After that, there is the integrated media plan, and that is where the team checks out that all the components work well together, and there needs to be a final document that outlines that plan. After all that has been completed, there's a 4-step plan that looks at system requirements, design consideration, implementation, and evaluation. The system requirement outlines the aims and objectives of the system. It also looks at potential users, their requirements before evaluating the hardware, the software, and authoring choices. The design considerations would look at the information types that will be displayed on the screen, how the user will navigate, how the sound is controlled. The implementation looks at creating a prototype of the system so that the team can test for any issues and how the evaluation will look at if the system has set out what it has meant to. Now, with the information that will be displayed on screen,